Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy that despite the problems with the connections, I can introduce here a person who leads the Deloitte Legal Innovation Program, who teams with the Deloitte Legal teams to introduce technology in new ways of providing legal services, and who really does the ventures with startups. And I think that this is enough. Let's let the person to explain more. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Laura Bygrave. Hi, Laura.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Jan. Sorry about the technical issues. Really excited to be here. It's an absolute pleasure. As Jan very kindly introduced me, I'm Laura Bygrave, the Innovation and Ventures Lead here at Deloitte Legal in the UK. What does that mean in practice? Because I appreciate that's quite a complicated title. So on the innovation side, I work to solve problems creatively with our clients for commercial benefit. This can be from an efficiency perspective or in terms of new legal solutions and new service delivery. And then on the venture side, I accelerate solving these problems with startups through partnership, investment or acquisition. And subsequently on this vein, I founded Deloitte Legal Ventures, which I know Jan and I will start to talk about in a moment.
Perfect. Thank you. So maybe my first question, could you tell us generally, what is the focus of Deloitte Legal from the innovation and disruption perspective?
Yeah, of course. That's a really good question and a great starting point. So I think from a Deloitte Legal perspective, we can look at technology and innovation in three ways. So the first way is where we use technology to drive efficiency and enable optimal legal services to our clients. The second builds on this slightly, so it's where we use technology consulting to clients to enable them to optimize their own legal functions. And then the third part of that puzzle is the co-creation of digital legal solutions with our clients to try and enable the provision of technology-based legal advice. Overlaying all of this is data analytics, because it pervades across all of the areas, enabling our lawyers and our clients to make better informed legal decisions. And then again, overlaid across all of this, all of these activities are supported by the Deloitte Legal Ventures program, which we'll talk about in a moment.
Perfect. And you've already mentioned Deloitte Legal Ventures program, me as well. And all the stuff we are not doing just by ourselves, so we are teaming. And Deloitte Legal Ventures program is one of the examples. Could you a little bit elaborate on that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it is definitely all about collaboration. So where Deloitte Legal Ventures came from was there was a real demand, and the Deloitte Legal strategy itself is based on this, to actually bring to clients multidisciplinary solutions, because in order for solutions to be comprehensive, you need to combine lawyers, consultants, technology experts to provide clients with new age solutions to their legal problems. From a technology perspective, in my previous role, I was head of innovation at Taylor Wessing, who I know are also here today. And I'd identified when I was there that there was a real need to accelerate the onboarding, uptake and usage of legal technology, both for lawyers internally and with clients. It was really clear that there was a lack of transparency in the buying process of technology, and not having clear metrics in terms of measuring the success of that implementation or deployment was really slowing down adoption. So we wanted to try and redefine that through the Deloitte Legal Ventures program. So Deloitte Legal Ventures, in a nutshell, helps to partner with early stage companies to accelerate that proof of concept process, so that in turn the lawyers and our clients get to use cutting edge technology more quickly.
And is there, sometimes you can hear about like incubators of startups. So is there any difference of this program, 50 with the traditional incubators?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because the market is very saturated, and from an outside perspective, it can often be quite difficult to differentiate who is doing that. So let me break it down for you. So from a Deloitte perspective, we actually started by taking a step back and doing extensive market analysis. And through that piece of analysis, so we looked at close to 400 legal technology startups, and that wasn't even the full spectrum. Those were the ones that we know about, because there's increasingly new startups popping up across the world consistently. We didn't limit our research to just UK, because the most exciting startups are coming from other legal tech hubs such as Israel and others across Europe. And we specifically started to look at earlier stage companies. And the reason for that is we could then input into their roadmap and help them develop, because at that point they didn't have too many investment obligations, which is really interesting opportunity for us to be able to shape the future of these companies. So we started doing that analysis to try and understand what does the market look like, and actually which areas, so for example, for document review technology, I'm sure it won't come as a surprise to all of you, was very saturated with the majority of products in that category. What we wanted to do through that analysis was try to work out where the gaps were, so that from a Deloitte Legal perspective, we could identify the problems that weren't yet comprehensively being solved, and therefore invest our program in those areas. So examples include self-service technology, so self-service process automation to put the lawyers and clients in control, rather than having to use a tech team to build these solutions. I'm potentially doing myself out of a job there, but trust me, it's a good idea to progress. And then other cutting edge areas such as blockchain and others. In doing this analysis, we assembled experts from Deloitte, including lawyers, ventures strategists, tech consultants, and analysed those companies out of the 400. And then we subsequently selected 14 to form our initial cohort. And the key differentiator for us as a programme is we actually start as the customer. So for all of those 14, we started as a customer to do a proof of concept with, and then let the relationship progress from there. A number of other incubators, they test the products, but they don't necessarily make that purchasing decision. And I think it's really important to differentiate that if we're going to go to clients and be advocates for a product or a solution, we really need to have used it ourselves first.
Great. And you partly mentioned it already, but practically, how does it work with the startup? So you just say, this is a client, this is a startup. Or how does it work in practice?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So to take you behind the scenes of what me and my team do, before we work with the selected companies, so we identify a problem area that it solves, and then we actually take steps to try and quantify that problem both commercially and technically. So for example, how much time or money does the process affected by the problem currently cost clients? Is it that they're losing 30 minutes a day, or is it something that they do once a year? Because that again gives us insight into the value. Another question that we look at is how much money clients are already spending on trying to solve, reduce or avoid the problem, because once we know that, we'll know whether it's something that we should invest time in. Not surprisingly, there's so many problems to be solved, and once you get into that detail, often you realize doing it manually or just changing the process is actually a better solution than implementing technology. So we do that sort of market sizing of the opportunity. Once we've done that validation, we then work with the selected technology startups from the cohort to do a proof of concept where we test 3 key things. So the first one is there demand? So in short, is there a need from our lawyers or our clients to use this product? Is it desirable? Step 2, if we can satisfy the answer being yes to the hypothesis, is actually can we do it from a feasibility perspective? So technically, will this piece of technology solve this problem if applied to it? And quite often, the solution is not end-to-end, so we've got to weigh up the benefit of actually solving part of that problem in the grand scheme of the end-to-end client delivery. And then the third piece, if we can satisfy the desirability and feasibility points, is viability. So is it worth it? So can we do it well? Can we scale this up? Or as you scale up from a commercial perspective, does that return on investment just not stack up? So when we work with each of these companies, we take them through across a 6 to 8 week period, depending on the use case, all 3 of those steps, so that at the end of it, they get a really buying decision in terms of working with Deloitte or our clients, and understand their potential product limitations to scalability, and we try and work with them to enable them to scale in the market through that really detailed feedback that they just can't get anywhere else.
Thank you very much. Laura, the final question. The program is now running like 10 months, is it correct?
Yeah.
Something like that? Do you see any positive results so far?
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe I could quantify it because there's sort of different levels of results. So 3 key things that we've done. The first one was with a product called Define, which was a really simple word plugin that helps you track where definitions are not defined or vary throughout contracts. We did a very quick 6-week proof of concept to validate that there was demand for that product. We rolled it out to all of our corporate and commercial lawyers in the UK, and we're now expanding usage. In terms of results, on average, our lawyers save 45 minutes a day. So if you multiply that across the practice and the scale of Deloitte Legal across different regions, you can very quickly see the return on investment stacks up well there. The second thing that we did in terms of new client delivery was with a company called Brighter. Brighter is low-code automation. And as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, we wanted to be able to offer free legal advice publicly available to people outside of just our client network, because we understood there was a need where clients were struggling to understand how they could go about, from a tax and legal perspective, repatriating cash across different jurisdictions. So very quickly we partnered with Brighter to build and launch a cash repatriation tool, which is now available. And I think it covers initially 25 different jurisdictions. It's online for any of you that would like to go and try it. So that was the second thing that we did. And then the third thing that we did, which is more at the transformative end of innovation, because we cover the full spectrum, was a partnership and investment with Conception X, which is a venture builder which supports PhD students in deep technology. So think people that are studying artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, the real cutting edge technologies, and then actually putting client industry legal challenges in front of them and asking these PhD students to apply their technology expertise to solving problems that we don't yet know can be solved within the legal industry. We've collaborated with a number of our clients, and we're actually building prototypes for products that don't yet exist. And I personally think if we can successfully do a proof of concept, we'll change the way that the legal industry looks in the future. So pretty exciting for 9 months' work, yeah.
Great. Congratulations. Laura, thank you very much. I hope to see you soon in person, and I hope to see you soon in Prague, maybe next year at the event. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great to see you all.
Thank you.